Welcome to the Law Firm Marketing Minute, your source of internet marketing inspiration.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Law Firm Marketing Minute. I'm your host, John Henson, and we are on video now. One of the things that we're doing here in 2020, just adding some new mediums to the content that we're putting out. So we're going to be on YouTube, Vimeo, places like that, and going to be really excited about what we're doing this year. One quick announcement before we jump in today is that our new show, Center Stage, is going to be launching this Wednesday on January 6th. Our first episode is with Paula Black. She's a business development coach. She works with a lot of attorneys, just helping them build their practice and also just helping them find a better, happier life. It's kind of her big thing. And we're going to talk about embracing social media and kind of her path to embracing it, especially as a way to produce content. So jumping into our topic this week, kind of going to build off of what we talked about in our last episode, and that is just how important content is. I went to the grocery store on the day after Christmas, and I was shocked and a little bit annoyed, if I'm being honest, to see that the Valentine's Day candy was already out. It was the day after Christmas, and now we're going to be talking about Valentine's Day. And it's just, it's so ridiculous, but it's a huge marketing lesson that we can learn from, and the fact that like something is always competing for our attention. I know at least around here in the Charlotte area, Christmas stuff was out in like the 1st of August, like even before Halloween stuff started showing up. And that, we've gone through 2 months of Christmas stuff, and now we're going to go through like 6-7 weeks of Valentine's Day. So what does that mean for your law firm? It means that stuff is always competing for everyone's attention. All right. Your law firm is going to be one of those things. And as a local business, as a small business, whether you have a national audience or just a local audience in a small town, that's going to be the biggest battle that you're fighting. And it's probably a little bit more difficult for local businesses because not only are you competing with other local businesses, but you're also competing with national brands. And you're not just competing with lawyers and other law firms. You're competing with Coca-Cola, McDonald's, whatever, because everyone, even you in your own personal life, you're constantly bombarded with information, where to eat, what to drink, what to wear. This new stuff to try. Oh, look, Bud Light has a new flavor of whatever they're making these days out now. Oh, the McRib is back. Nacho fries are back at Taco Bell. Where are you going to go? And just that information alone on a constant daily basis is enough to get your audience to forget about you. And that's not what you want as a business owner. All right. As an entrepreneur, as a business owner, you are constantly scrapping to build your business and to generate more revenue. So how do you do it? Obviously, you're doing it through your marketing. And what a lot of people did was with SEO. And honestly, SEO is kind of the lazy way out. The problem, though, was that SEO only really worked for about 10 people in a city at a given time. And even then, not even 10 people. I mean, you've heard me talk about this before. SEO on page one, because people really only care about what shows up on page one before they may like try a different search phrase. You're going to have 10 results show up on page one. About half of those are going to be directories. The other half are going to be bigger law firms with gigantic marketing budgets that equal probably like, your entire revenue for a quarter, something crazy like that. So how do you combat that? Well, for whatever reason, for many years, attorneys just all competed to try to get on page one on SEO. And the overwhelming majority of them, just ended up frustrating. They hated marketing. They hated marketing companies because they're all the same. They promise you all this and then they don't deliver. I get it. If you are one of the few that have had success with SEO, great. Keep it up. Proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing. But for the majority of the rest of you, you got to dump SEO in 2021. All right. Just forget about it. All right. It's not worth competing over. It's not worth spending thousands of dollars every month to try to get on page one. All right. And that's what it costs to get on page one. If an SEO company comes along and says, yeah, we can we can give you a basic SEO package for $500 a month, it's not going to be very good unless you live in a small town and there's only 2 other attorneys in your city. Maybe it'll work then. Maybe then it's worth going with a local company. But if you're in one of those bigger metro areas, man, as a small law firm, SEO makes 0 sense for your marketing strategy. All right. Instead, the way you combat it is you pour into content. All right. Imagine just this giant, massive freeway. All right. And it's not a traffic jam, surprisingly, but it's just rows and rows of cars speeding along. All right. All of those cars represent different companies' marketing content. And what you have to do as an attorney is jump into that freeway and get into traffic and start moving along with it. All right. You got to get into that space. You got to be putting your content out there and getting in front of the same eyeballs that are seeing all the rest of it. All right. That's going to be your best way to make sure that you stay top of mind, that people think of you first. And look, it seems daunting at first, but once people go have their McRib or their nacho fries or whatever, and it comes down to addressing, the other issues in their lives, that's where you are going to have to show up. And it's so easy for people to just pull out their phone, go to Google and search for an attorney. And they're just flying blind and they're going to just price shop. And, sure, the company that shows up on page 1 of Google may get that client, but that client's not going to be fun to work with. Right. They're just going to be there trying to pay as little as possible and just kind of get in, get out, and get on with their life. Where it becomes a mix of smart business decisions, smart marketing, and a good use of your finances is investing in good content that answers the questions that are keeping your audience up at night. And from there, you got to stay top of mind. You got to educate people, and you got to literally become unforgettable. Like when people say, oh, that was unforgettable, it kind of denotes like, oh, it was a fun memory. We mean it in like the most literal sense. Like you are literally unable to get out of someone's life. They cannot forget about you. You're always showing up on their social media. Your emails are showing up in their inbox, whatever it is. That's what we mean by being unforgettable. And look, I mean, if people don't want to see your stuff, they can opt out. They can unfollow you. They can unsubscribe, whatever. But most people are going to keep you around because once you demonstrate that expertise, once you can tap into that ability of showing them that you know how to address their issues, you are the person for the job, they're going to keep you around because you're going to be their guy, their girl, whatever. And when the need arises, they're going to think of you first. All right. It's one less thing they have to worry about. They go through their lives, there's this commercial, that commercial, this post on social media, that post on social media, this news story, that news story, whatever the case is. And when they sit down and they're faced with one of the biggest obstacles in their life, whether it's a divorce, maybe it's the death of a parent and they've got estate issues to sort through. Maybe they're struggling financially and they've got to file for bankruptcy, or they've got the IRS breathing down their neck, whatever it is. You, having already planted that seed that you're the expert, takes a lot of the stress off of them. They're ready to come to you. They're educated. They're ready to work with you. They're ready to pay you whatever you're charging, because cost doesn't really become a factor. All right. That's why we encourage our clients to increase their rates over time, because their content demonstrates their ability to get the job done and at a premium level. It's the same sort of comparison that we talk about. Like if you need to have heart surgery, you're going to seek out the best heart surgeon, not a general practitioner. And that's really how it all comes together. And it comes together through content, a good, consistent content marketing strategy. And in 2021, that is what you need to dive full head on into. If you missed the boat in 2020 when everyone was on lockdown and sitting on their phone, going through their emails, watching a bunch of videos, if you missed that boat, it's coming around again. You got to get on it and you got to jump into it, because that's how most effective marketing is going to take place. All right. SEO is going to become not the primary, but just a secondary way to get clients. And it's going to be for the desperate attorneys, I think, who need to get more clients to meet revenue goals. All right. The ones that are consistently putting out good content, who are educating their audience, that's where it's going to be. And now's the time to jump on it. All right. Because that window is closing because once a couple of other attorneys in your city figure that out, now the competition is going to be a lot tougher. But if you can be one of the first attorneys in your city to get that good content strategy in place, to start becoming unforgettable, to start showing up on everyone's social media platforms, it's going to be where it's at for you, and you're going to see success. All right. So think about that for this week. I hope that's helpful. Continue to rate, review us on Apple Podcasts and everywhere you get your podcast. Thank you guys so much for all of the feedback that you're sending our way. Thank you for just all of you who are listening. We had a huge jump in listenership in 2020. We hope to continue that growth again in 2021. So yeah, thank you for everyone who's been a part of this. Whether you just jumped on last year, you've been with us for a couple of years. Really, really happy to see how this is growing. Reminder, go subscribe to Center Stage. You can find it on Apple Podcasts and a bunch of other platforms. We're working on getting it on Apple, Pandora, it's already on Apple, but we're working on getting it on Pandora, Google Podcasts. Those are a little bit slower to accept new submissions these days. But yeah, otherwise, we're jumping into 2021 with a bunch of content. We hope it's very valuable for you guys, and we hope you enjoy it. And we'll see you next week.
Thanks for joining us. Please visit lawfirmmarketingminute.com for more information. We'll see you next time.